Thomas down the mine. One day, Thomas was at the junction when Gordon shuffled in with some trucks. "Poof!" said Thomas. "What a funny smell." "Can you smell a smell?" "I can't smell a smell," said Annie and Clarabelle. "It's a funny, musty sort of smell," said Thomas. "No one noticed it until you did," grunted Gordon. "It must be yours." "Annie and Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is?" said Thomas. "It's ditch water." Gordon snorted, but before he could answer, Thomas was coupled to Annie and Clarabelle, and they puffed away. The two coaches could hardly believe their ears. They had great respect for Gordon the big engine. "You mustn't be rude, you make us ashamed," they kept telling Thomas. But Thomas didn't care a bit. That was funny, he chuckled, feeling very pleased with himself. He left the coaches at the station and went off to a mine for some trucks. Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. The tunnel roofs were strong enough to hold trucks, but they could not take the weight of the heavy engines. There was a large notice which said, "Danger! Engines must not pass this point." Thomas had been warned, but he didn't care. This morning he laughed as he puffed along. He had made a plan. "Silly old board," he said to himself, getting nearer and nearer to the danger sign. The driver stopped him, and the fireman went to turn the points. "Now for my plan," said Thomas, and he bumped the trucks fiercely, jerking the driver off the footplate. "Come back!" called his driver, but it was too late. "Stupid old board," said Thomas as he ran past it. There's no danger. "Look out!" cried the driver. The fireman clambered into the cab and tried Thomas's brakes. There was a rumbling noise and the rails quivered. The fireman jumped clear. Then the rails sagged and broke. "Fire and smoke!" said Thomas. "I'm sunk!" And he was. Thomas could just see out of the hole, but he couldn't move. "Oh dear," he said. "I am a silly engine." "And a very naughty one too," said the Fat Controller, who had just arrived. "I saw you." "Please get me out. I won't be naughty again," said Thomas. "I'm not sure," said the Fat Controller. "We can't lift you out with a crane because the ground is not firm enough." Let me see. I wonder if Gordon could pull you out." "Yes, sir," said Thomas nervously. He didn't want to see Gordon just yet. When Gordon heard about Thomas, he laughed very loudly. "Down a mine, is he? Ho, ho, ho! What a joke! He chortled, puffing quickly to the rescue. "Poop, poop, little Thomas," Gordon whistled. "We'll have you out in a couple of puffs. Poop, poop, poop." The men fastened strong cables between Gordon and Thomas. "Are you ready?" "Heave!" called the Fat Controller. But they didn't pull Thomas out in a couple of puffs. It was a lot harder than they had all thought, and it took a long time to finally pull Thomas out of the hole. "I'm sorry I was cheeky," said Thomas. "That's all right, Thomas," said Gordon. "You made me laugh." Thomas was very pleased that Gordon was not angry with him any more. His fire had gone out, so he needed a pull back to the station. "Can we go together?" asked Thomas. "Of course we can," said Gordon. "I'll pull you back." "Thank you very much," said Thomas. And buffer to buffer, the two friends puffed home.